Hi guys, new year, new me. Actually no, new year, same me. Nothing's changed about me, honestly. Actually, no, there was I almost had a job. I didn't get it. Um, that was the most craziest job interview I've ever done. So basically, I mean, if I got the job, I wouldn't be talking about this, but dude, I got this. Oh, I'm out of breath. I got this new job interview, and I got contacted by a lawyer, right, from the company. I did a FaceTime interview with this guy, and he goes, "Just to let you know, it is like a meat company, because I would do like quality assurance, like a lab analyst to like test meat for like bacteria or anything like that." And he goes, "It's a meat company, but it's like basically a slaughterhouse." Now, when I heard that, I was like, can't be that bad, right? I mean, slaughterhouse, I get it. We kind of all understand that's where our meat comes from. So he's like, just let you know, like, there's kind of like slaughtering going on. So okay, well, I'm obviously I'm not doing the slaughtering, so I should be fine with it. Three um FaceTime interviews later, I get a tour date, right? I show up to this tour. I walk in. This lady flies down from Fresno up north. So I'm like, I'm already like assuming I got this job. I mean, like, if they're gonna fly down to interview me specifically, and it didn't seem like she interviewed anybody else. So um, I show up, and I'm like, okay, I'm fucking, pretty nervous. It's pretty like I think I have this job. Didn't get it, obviously. All good. Um, I show up to this job interview, and I go to this head office, and like the owner of it, he's got like like a classic like Texas looking office where there's like a bullhorn, and everything's just like skinned. Like I'm sure I didn't look at his boots, but I'm sure he's probably wearing snake boots, and like Zins on the table. Like I remember I had a Zin on the table. I actually thinking about the interview. I was thinking about asking him questions about it because I've tried Zins before, but I was like maybe I shouldn't, so I didn't. But they go, what size shoes are you? And I'm like 11 and a half, but obviously that's fucking, no one really has that. So I was like 11 and a half, 12, 11, whatever works. Okay, cool. They go out, they come back, they give me these boots, right? These like rubber um, calf height, just cowboy boot kind of things, like just the height's worth. Steel toe. And they're like, okay, we're going to show you through this place. It's like, okay. So now I'm like, okay, this is gonna see some slaughtering probably. Dude, I was not expecting what I was about to see. So they start off we start at the end where they're packaging the meat. Things that you see at the store, right? No big deal. I've seen meats before packaged at Costco's, Target, Stater Brothers, whatever. Not a big deal. As the tour progresses, we go from the one huge room where they're packaging the meat. We go to another room. This next room is kind of like a grinding room where we still just basically like just straight meat that you would see, but it's like pushed out for like school lunches, and they just put it in like a cardboard box. I was like, okay, well, I think you would just put it straight in a box, like not even a bag or anything, but it's all good. Go to the next room, next room, next room. But as the rooms progress, I start to see more and more of a cow. Okay. So, like, for starters, the first room was just straight packaged meat. Okay. Now we're in the fourth room. Now I'm seeing half a cow. Now it's like still just like no skin, no head, nothing. It's just like half a cow. I guess like down the middle, no arms or legs, just like the straight meat part. Now I'm kind of like, I'm like, smells weird in this room. Originally when I asked them too, I was like, is it gonna smell? Because I mean, I would have done the job anyways if it smelled. Well, until I saw this tour. Um, but I was thinking just like it's gonna smell like shit like I was thinking cow shit, right? Not like really like organs and stuff. But I get to this one room and it just smells like chemicals, but they spray it for uh, I actually didn't even know. She said that the chemical doesn't matter. We keep going, and mind you, I have to squeeze past, like there's some like out, like they're all, these half cows are just kind of like on like a conveyor belt, like hanging, just kind of going in order, right? Like throughout this whole like uh building. And there's parts where I'm like having to like kind of like and I'm wearing a lab coat too, like a lab coat that goes all the way down to like basically my calves. So I was like kind of protected, but still I'm like I didn't want to touch anything. Like they said too, like don't touch anything cuz could fucking got boogers and shit on my hands. I'm like sliding past these cows. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It kind of fucking smells in this room. It's all good. I get to a point where there's a guy who um reminds me of um the doctor from like World War II in like the Nazi side, where like he's like the evil doctor who just kind of experiments on people. You know what I mean? Like he was like an evil doctor kind of thing. This guy reminded me of this guy because she goes, "This guy's our veterinarian," and I look over and this guy's just cutting off like their fucking, I think like the kidneys, or there was just one organ this guy was cutting. I forgot what it was, like liver. I think it was the liver of the cow. He's just fucking cutting off and he's throwing it in this wheelbarrow, and the guy's wearing a lab coat too, but it's like half buttoned, just like one side's flopped to the side. Like this collar's popped up. This guy just looks like he's sweating. Like the guy like does not look like he's a veterinarian. And I'm like, he's like, this guy's like certified. Like is she's like, no, he's like an actual veterinarian. And I was like, okay, I didn't. That's. But he looks like he's not. You know what I mean? Like this guy, um, definitely looks like he should not be doing this. Like maybe he hates the job. But I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what is he veterinarian? Like the term of it. Like I feel like a veterinarian is somebody that like helps animals. This guy's just cutting out the livers of cows, and he's not even like wasn't even like investigating the liver. He just was he? I swear to God, like this guy wasn't even looking at the cow. He just like threw it in a wheelbarrow. Next one, just throws it into the wheelbarrow. And I'm like, this guy's not like, is he supposed to be checking something? This guy's just cutting off livers and throwing it like in a fucking metallic bin. But I'm like, okay, that's interesting. We keep going. The next room. Now I'm starting to get a little nauseous. I go in the next room, and by the way, like I don't know, morally, I feel like working at this job, I would have been for sure desensitized to like death, you know, um, which I guess is a good and bad thing, but still, it's just kind of like haven't had a job in like oh, and they didn't know that, by the way, and if they're seeing this now, maybe they already know, but I just like lied on my resume because I'm like I gotta fucking, I'm not getting anything, I'm not getting any catches, so I'm just gonna lie, which I honestly um highly motivate people to lie, because most of the people I go to these interviews, they lie too. Like I show up and they're just like, yeah, so basically everything we said you're gonna do, you're not doing that. You're just a receptionist. And I was like, what? You're just wasting my fucking time. Okay. So, anyways, the next room we go in, and now I'm starting to see a bit too much more of a cow. This next room, and mind you, I'm still kind of squeezing by, and I'm like just staying there. And they specifically like every person who there like has a helmet on, and each helmet like it signifies what they are. So like red means like quality assurance, which is what I would have been, and like blue just means fucking people who just cutting up the cows, and there's like orange, and there's like supervisors, and there's like OSHA, or not OSHA, but like fucking, another type of supervising and stuff. And they gave me an orange hat, which means visitor. So I was like, okay, cool, dunce, I get it. So I'm standing there, and and by the way, I asked her too, is like, where do you find these people like to just do this? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I was like, okay. Actually, I'll get back to that point in a second. So now I'm in this room, and I'm just kind of standing, and like my arms are kind of to my side, and because I didn't want to touch anything, and I want to. People were just fucking, oh, excuse me, with a fucking corpse of a cow's like fucking intestines. I was like, oh, okay, oh, excuse me, oh shit, and this guy's got his cow brains and shit in his hand. I was like, oh, my bad, fucking. The entire time I was like, I didn't want to get. I was wearing like fucking, a button up, dress shirt, Lululemons, and like dress shoes and stuff. Because it's an interview, every interview I do, I show up well dressed because in my idea, I'm like, I want to just, dress for the job I want kind of thing. And I guess this isn't the job I like was dressing for because it's a slaughterhouse and all, but still, it's like I kind of like to dress up a little bit. It makes me feel kind of important. So part of me, I'm like, oh, don't touch me with that fucking cow dick. I get it. So I'm standing there and I see this guy who has to be, I swear to God, I worked with this guy at UPS. Like these people are just like high schoolers or, just people I've seen one, and they're like younger than me. And there's this guy with the fucking vacuum just sucking down this cow's like spine. And I'm like, what is that? She goes, oh, I couldn't hear her because it's so loud in there. And she basically had said something about there's like a disease or some shit. This guy's basically sucking out the spinal cord or like the spinal something of a cow because of some bacteria or whatever. I was like, okay, cool, can't hear you. And there's like a girl who's like got like a fucking like a tailor's like press like at like a fuck, what do you call it? Like an air, what do they, oh, fuck, what's it called when you take your clothes there and they steam it? Doing that. Steaming like the back of this bottom of these like arteries and shit to keep it from bleeding or something. I don't know. But right before that, there's a guy who's on a platform, a hydraulic platform with probably like a 50-inch saw, right? And this is like where the cow was like still like pieced apart, but it's together, if you know what I mean. This guy's standing there, and again, this guy looks like he's younger than me, and he's just got this massive saw and just cuts down this entire, like the spinal cord of the cow. Now, if most of you are probably thinking too, like, yeah, what do you expect? This is how we get our meat. I understand that, but seeing it firsthand in person is very different. Considering it's different because also in this room, they have the heads of the cows. That's like the last portion of the cow. Like they said, like, oh, we use every part of the cow, eyes and everything. She said, I think like there's one part that they don't use. Because I mean, intestines, heart, and shit like that, they grind it up and give it a dog. So I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. But there's the cows, and their faces are there, with their eyeballs and their tongues just sticking out. And there's like no skin on their face. It's just eyeballs and tongue and teeth. I think, yeah, they have teeth. And they're just kind of like, there's just fucking people. And like the thing about it though, is that was the most trippiest part to me, is that everybody who was working there is obviously desensitized of what they're doing, but they're so desensitized that they're doing their job as if it was just fucking putting groceries in a grocery bag. They would grab like the cow's like through their like their snout and their nose and just put it on a hook. Which, by the way, like there's so many questions I had during that tour too. Like I was like watching, they were putting on hooks, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what? But it was already on a table. Like they were hooking. I don't know if it was like to get the blood out or something. I don't know. But I was like watching them just like put a fucking cow's like corpse head just on a hook, and I was like, oh fuck, okay. This is like, it kept reminding me of like a haunted house. I like Knott's Berry Farm, like a spooky like slaughterhouse. I kept thinking like slaughterhouse, like I'm going through a fucking haunted maze right now. Like there's just like, I'm just waiting for a guy to come out and scare me and shit. But I was already petrified. Not really, but definitely shocked. But yeah, this guy, he cuts his cows, and also the hydraulic like platform he was on, I don't know if he had a button or something, but like it seemed like maybe when the saw was at an angle that it like turned the the platform on, which would lower him, because the guy would cut it and simultaneously it would lower like with him. And like she was telling me too, like, oh yeah, these guys are like trained professionals and know exactly how to cut it down the spinal cord. I was like, okay, cool. What do they go to school for that? Like cow school, or like cut a spinal cord? I get it. Keep an eye on those guys, but and then in the same room right before that, the cows are still together, like they're not cut in half, but their intestines are there. I get this is gross to most of you, but it's just so shocking that I have to talk about it. Another wheelbarrow pulled up, and they just like, I don't know if they cut it. I don't really watch it because there's so much shit going on. But basically, they just put all the fucking organs into this barrel. And I remember we came back to that room and we were standing right before that procedure where they take out all the organs. That I was looking at this one guy like standing on a platform, and he just cuts off a little sliver of meat, and I was like, is that for him? You know? She's like, no, it's a guy who he noticed a bacteria might be present. She goes, good eye, good, thanks for pointing that out. I was like, thanks, doesn't matter, I'm not getting the job anyways. But and then I was looking at the cows that like that guy was cutting up, kind of thing, to the cows like later on, like after they get cut in half, and I was like, why are the cows over here like way bigger than the cows over there? And that's when she pointed out, she goes, oh, look at right here, they're taking out all its fucking organs and everything. I was like, oh, that's what it is. I was like, holy shit, that's okay, I get it. Starting to kind of it was still kind of like surreal. I was like, this doesn't feel like this is real at all, you know. But the next room really put it in fucking perspective, because the next room was the goddamn most bloodiest. This is where I started to actually kind of get a little lightheaded, just like a little bit. This next room was so bloody. Like I'm talking about, there was not a spot in this fucking room that wasn't like there was no blood on the floor. This next room, we go in, and she goes, oh, she looks at me, she goes, you need to follow me exactly. I was like, what's going on? What the fuck? What's up? She goes, you need to follow me exactly. We're going to go under this thing, and you have to go right when I do. I was like, okay, cool. She goes, and I follow her because there's a conveyor belt of these fucking cows coming through, and we have to duck under a goddamn, another, like, I don't know, platform that's, like, probably 4 feet tall that I have to, like, duck under, and then also, like, dodge these cows that are on a fucking conveyor belt next to me. And I'm like, oh, yep. Get past, and now we're like standing in the center of this fucking bloody room. And I'm like, this is fucking super interesting seeing this. Can't wait to never eat meat again. And also, I was kind of like, I hope I don't get my fucking clothes covered in blood. Because I was wearing a lab coat, I was wearing these boots, but there was like this part of my calf was just like free. So I was like, dude, I'm going to get home and this shit's going to be covered in blood. Because when we went over to that conveyor belt, I followed her and I looked behind her. It's like, oh, she's covered in blood. This girl's covered in blood. Like if she walked out right now in the street, somebody would call 911. So we go under, and I'm standing there, and these cows are coming through, and now it's like a cow, like it's like legit, like they had just been killed. These cows have hair on them, and for like the first half of the room. Because they come out, and which, by the way, I feel like maybe it might have been better to start from like the first processed and then on, instead of just kind of like coming back. But maybe not. Maybe it was better that I started from the front. But she tells me too. She goes, by the way, this is where you, if you pass out, we'll find out. And I was like, this is such a great interview. You know, a tour. I was like, I've ever been in an interview and like, okay, if you pass out, it's gonna be now. Like, okay. So I see these cows come in after being killed. They're hung upside down by their legs. Because like the first like glance I looked over from the first cow coming in, it was kind of sad because I see it like kicking and shit. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, bro, this is like Chicken Run, you know, when they're like hung up and they're just made into chicken pot pies from Miss Tweety. It's an old animated cartoon. Great movie. Um, there is a guy who cuts their neck at the very front, like when it comes in. Coming through this, they're bleeding. Most of them are dead, but there was this one still kicking. I was like, "Come on, buddy!" I was like rooting for him. I was like, "Come on, you don't know where you're going next, but I'm rooting for you." They're going through, and by the way, when I did the first interview with this guy who was a lawyer, he did tell me, he's like, I asked him too. I was like curious. I was like, so, because he'd said he'd been there for like 40 years, and he goes, I saw what happened once, and I will never go back there again. And so I had to ask him, I was like, what happened? He goes, well, I went there 20 years ago, and basically they shoot him in the head, they hang him upside down, they cut their necks. So it's like, okay. So I see that happen, and so I'm expecting that's the worst part, is when they cut their necks. That wasn't the worst part. No. The worst part was it keeps going down, and there's a little dude. There's a Latina little girl who I'm saying little in terms of, well, I guess height, but like age wise, this girl has to be like 19, 20. She has a hydraulic tool that's like kind of like, it's like a tool, and there's like an O on the top of it. This little girl puts the O over their hooves of their front hands and hydraulically snaps and then takes off their hooves like it's fucking a banana peel. But the worst part is hearing the snap of the fucking bone. Just, and it was so loud and deep. And I saw that, I was like, oh, fuck. And I really thought in my head, I'm like, dude, imagine if I just like put my fucking hand, if I put like, it's insane. Like if I put my fucking hand in that thing, it would be absolutely cut off. I was like, where was that when the 127-hour guy got caught in that fucking hike? But I see her, just a little girl, like again, like just putting groceries in a grocery bag, and then she would just grab a toe and just kind of peel it off just from like a little small layer of skin. And I was observing so much. It was so much happening that I missed a lot. Like I'm like, where did she even put that? Like, there had to have been like a barrel or some shit. Like they say they use everything. I'm sure they're gonna resell that for like a fucking, I don't know, a fucking shot cup. But she just tosses it, whatever, and then like 7 steps farther than her, guy just fucking cuts off like the head, and he sprays off the head, just throws in a fucking chute. Part of me really wish I was kind of observing more, because I'm so curious about what was like. I knew that at one point the guy cut the head off. I'm like, how did he do that? You know. Also watch that guy. And then they keep going. These cows are going through, and they put these cows like, again, I don't know how they did it. Like I swear to God, that's like I'm watching it, but they're like fucking. I swear they were just like making sure, like okay, he's not looking, let's do it now. But they hooked up their skin to like a press that would just like rip the skin completely off, like almost like it was a dress, like undressing your little girlfriend when you get home. I was like, I thought like it would be harder than that, but it just like something just grabbed on it, and just ripped it off like it was nothing, and they just goes down the chute. I was like, oh fuck. And the craziest thing about, I guess, all of that, besides like the hose being snapped off, was when that happens. I think with all organisms that it goes in like a convulsion state, like where it, like, these cows, like their organs and shit, like their muscles are spasming. And I'm like in that room where the heads are, and the guy's like, and the guy just got the fucking cow, and then right before the veterinarian just, they're like involuntarily convulsing, where like there's no head, no arms, half its body. It's just torso, and like you see like their muscles just contracting. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like at one point when we saw those heads being hooked up on the hooks by some fucking psychopaths and shit, um, she goes, oh yeah, you know, a lot of people are always talking about like how like uncaring we are about these animals because like as you can see right now, like the back of the cow's head, like you can see the arteries and their neck muscles and shit just convulsing. You see that, right? I'm like, yep, yeah, I see it. The blood's shooting out. It's almost getting on me. Like I see, yeah, that's pretty intense. Like there's a fucking hole, like as if you cut off like someone's head. Like everything you would see, like from like the bottom part of it, like trachea, like the everything, like the muscles, it's all just contracting, and you see like arteries just like convulsing and shit like that. She goes, "See, so you see that?" I was like, "Yep, I see that for sure. Yeah, what is that?" And she's like, "It's just like involuntary contractions that like happen in the animal." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" It's like the video of like, or just the idea of like you cut off like a lizard's tail, and the lizard's tail just kind of just squirms and shit like that. So seeing that was pretty fucking intense. And then she goes, I asked her too. I was like, "Is there anything you guys don't?" And I'm asking questions because obviously I'm fucking curious. And also it's like it's kind of like a good presence, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm just asking away. I'm like, "Is there anything you don't use?" Like, "Yeah, come this way." I was like, "Fuck." She goes, "Here, grab this hose and then just like spray off all the blood off your boots because it's like a sanitary area." I was like, "Okay." Just a massive like hydraulic, like, or not hydraulic, just a high pressured hose just spraying off my boots and shit like that. I'm like cleaning the back of it and shit. I'm like get my high tops and my fucking heels and shit. I'm just squirting all those fucking guts off me and shit. I was like, "Now what?" And she goes, "Come in this room." And this is the room where she showed me the fucking, I still can't remember. There was an organ and she goes, "We don't use this." So, I mean, I didn't ask her, but I was like, "So why is it here?" We went in there real quick. She goes, "Yeah, we don't use this shit." And I was looking, I was like, oh my God. It was like a fucking, everything was freezing cold in there. And I was like, "Why are you keeping this cold? Just throw it away." And that's when I asked her too. I was like, "Where the fuck do you find these people? How do you find these workers who work here?" She's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Aren't you fucking hiring? Like, you're hiring me. Like, I get it. It's like a different, so, you know, I'm like a science region, like a quality, like a lab, like you got a bachelor's and shit, or a master's, they think, to do this job. But still, I'm like, well, who the fuck hires the guy with the fucking 15-inch saw? Who hires this veterinarian? Who hires the little fucking Latina mommy hydraulically pressing and snapping off the hooves of a cow? Where do you, hey, where do you find that girl at? Is she here against her will? Probably not. But where are her parents? Probably Mexico. But she goes, okay, so now we're gonna go to the killing part. And I was like, cool. I think I'm ready to see that. She goes, okay. We go outside, and I'm like meeting people here and there, by the way, and like it was kind of like almost unprofessional because we would go to these little small rooms that there were like these people working there, and they were just like on computers doing shit, and she's just kind of sitting there just like talking to them and shit, and she's like, "So how you been?" And I'm just like, "This isn't. We're doing a tour right now. Like I get it. Like say what's up. Like she flies in however often. She said like twice a month, so it's not that big. It's not like it's a fucking family reunion, but still, I'm like, very like, because I love to talk to people and shit like that. But like when I'm sitting here, I'm just kind of like, what? I'm just kind of standing there. It was for way too long, by the way. Like I'm just like, let's get back out there and fucking finish this thing. And she's like, so fucking Manuel, did you hear about the Manuel incident? And like they're just talking about work and shit like that. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's probably, if I get this job, I don't, I'll probably be doing this gossip shit too. But it was just kind of like I'm just kind of standing there, and at one point she's like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" And I was like, "Hi, that's her. I'm just here. I just want to know how I get my burgers inside me. I just want to know how burgers are made." Because obviously in the future I know I'm not getting this job, so just finding out how fucking burgers are made. So okay, come on, let's keep going. So she goes, we're gonna watch these cows get put down. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, should be fine, We go out to like the surveillance room, and there's just fucking people just sitting there, they're not even watching the fucking TV, by the way. And we go in this room, and she's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is fucking. We're here. We're at the peak, brother. Let's just fucking get this going." I was having a good time. I'm always like optimistic where I go, but still, it's just kind of like that uncomfortability where I'm like, I don't know these people, and like they're having conversations. I'm just kind of standing there, and I got a fucking bright ass orange hat on my head, and I'm covered in blood. I'm just kind of like, and I'm like, they're just like, "New guy, huh?" And I'm like, well, hopefully it doesn't happen. But as I'm standing there and as she's gossiping, there's a massive like 80-inch TV, and I look over at it and I'm like, oh, cool, there's the whole factor. I'm watching everything I just saw again happen again. And I look and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm about to see. It's them putting down the cows. There's a fucking camera that I see on the camera of a guy just fucking, he like fucks with a cow, puts its head up, just kills it. I'll get to that. I'll get to what happens. But basically, what I'm about to see, I already see happen on the camera. So I was like, oh fuck. Okay. Well, all right. Now I saw it. So now it's in my head. I was like, cool, because if even though I wouldn't pass out, but if I saw that in person, it'd be easier because I just saw this on the fucking camera in the security room. So we go out and she goes, oh my god, they're taking their break right now, so we have to wait. And I was like, okay, that's fine. The fuck do we do? Oh, we go back in the office, and I just kind of sit there and I talk to some fucking guy named Diego, who's a kind of cool guy, by the way. And they have like a new software or whatever, and he's like the shipping guy. And there's probably like 300 just shipping orders, and this guy just fucking like clicks print on every single 300 of them, and they're just printing these things out, and like, but he's going through every single one. And I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, either one, this guy is just kind of like, this is what I do, so I'm gonna make this like as entertaining as I possibly can. Two, the guy just I guess just two, the guy just kind of doesn't realize that you can print all of them at once. You know what I mean? Like maybe there might not be like a print all, but if you can copy and paste, there's a way to fucking do that. Like if I was working there, I'm like, I'm gonna just do this once. But this guy's and I'm sitting there too, by the way, and this girl's like, receptionist is just like, fuck, what was she doing? She was doing something that I'm like, if I worked here, she would really definitely not be friends with me, kind of thing. Like she would, fuck, what was she doing? She was just like on the phone and shit like that. She was texting like a typical receptionist from like high school, but like was just like not doing her job. I was just kind of like, I'm looking at her behind me and shit, and then the girl touring, just going pee, running around talking to people and shit like that. So I'm waiting for them to get off break. She goes, okay, they're off break. Let's go. I was like, oh, thank God. See you, Diego. That guy was actually kind of cool, by the way, because when we did like, right when I met him, she like talks to him. She goes, he might be getting the job. He looks at me. He's like, and I look at him. I was like, so there's friendship bonding right there, but doesn't matter. We go to, and by the way, they get 500 cows a day. And they usually work most Saturdays, so I'm assuming probably 500 6 days a week. And and they do 500 cows a day. Like, she's like, it's rare for us to not kill all 500. And I was like, this is a fucking holocaust, lady, if we're really being honest here. This is a cow holocaust. This is a holocaust. This is a cow holocaust. So we show up to the very front, right? Big ass pen of cows. Just fucking have no idea what the fuck's about to happen to them. Which is kind of the sad part. It's like the moral part. You're like, ugh. And by the way, this lady, and by the way, I feel like I might post this maybe a week later because they might call me back. But she goes, I like now she works in Fresno. She does shit online. She goes, I loved working there, and I was like, you cannot be saying that. You should not be saying that. Like, it's fucking pretty intense for a girl to be saying that to you, and you're like, oh, and she's like probably, I don't know, 32, 33. But like a science nerd, like, you know, like when I was doing the interview with her, she was like, oh my God, fucking, do you know what hydrochloric is? And I was like, yeah. She goes, oh my goodness, most people don't. And I'm like, okay. Okay. So we go to we see the cow pens, and there's like a fucking, if you know like horses, if you know horses, such a bad stand-up, but they, when they train them and they like run that circle and there's a thing like kind of catching up behind it to keep it kind of running, it's kind of like that, but it's a lot slower, like indefinitely slower, where it just kind of pushes them and they go one at a time, right? Like there's like, okay, so there's a pin, 500 cows. There's a fucking fan belt of just like stalls. There's like four stalls. They go, come here, come on. Cow comes in. They're like, starts fucking moving the cow, and he's got to keep walking. And it takes him to a one-way pathway ramp, right? That is the last thing these fucking things do until they're like this. Like, if part of me was like, and by the way, we kind of go back early before their lunch break ends or their break. So this cow is like halfway on the ramp. This cow's just kind of looking at me and shit. They kind of remind me of my dog. I was like, this guy's looking at me like my dog does. I'm thinking in my head, I was like, fuck, dude. Telepathically, I want to be like, get out kind of thing. You know, like, don't fucking go that way. Just letting you know. And also I'm not going to be able to help you. So don't look at me. And it was just like looking at me and shit like, what's going on up there? And I'm just kind of like, look, dude, I might get this job. You don't fuck this up for me. In like retrospect, I should have saved that cow. It would have been something good would have came out of that whole tour. So, damn, I've been talking about this shit for so long. Okay, so, cow goes up this ramp, and by the way, they get like these little fucking fly swatters, and the guys, come on, like it's a cat calling the cat in for fucking dinner. Come on, and they're hitting it. This guy's got a little cattle prong, and it's fucking like shocking it, and then it starts moving. But it's shocking it so hard where it's like it's two little prongs, and when it hit it, there's just a black mark from fucking burning its like fur. Cow goes up, and there's this fucking guy who I swear to God is also younger than me. Like, I'm like, dude, where the fuck are you finding these people? Like, how do you get this job? And why would you, out of every job, dude, like, I get it, like, little Latina, and just cutting off the hooves. Okay, maybe that's pretty fucked. Everything in that fucking hole, everything's pretty fucked. But I'm like, dude, what do you tell people? Like, this guy, like, he's got like a one of those fucking shake weights, and it's like that size, and he puts a little 25 cal, little small like bullet in it, and the cow's like, it goes in this little pin, they close it up, the cow's just kind of fucking, and he just like tickles it and shit, you know, come on, get your head up, the cow lifts his head up, and then you just fucking right in the fucking forehead, it just falls, collapses instantly, like instantly dead. So that part was kind of like, okay, I feel like that's probably the quickest way to kill this fucking thing, but it just instantly dead, just fucking falls. guy just fucking pulls this fucking latch, and the cow just falls out the side, and the guys just hook it up, and then it goes to the factory. But this guy's just fucking 500 cows a day. I'm like, dude, what do you tell people that you do for a living? Imagine. I mean, I'm sure his family knows by now, but just like in general, just being like, what do you do for work? Oh, I kill cows. What do you do for work? I love my work. I I'm like an artist. I love my work. So I put a bullet in 500 cows a day. Like the guy had, if it was me, which it would never, that would never fuck. I do it. $60 an hour, I'll do it. But listen, with full benefits. Listen, you cannot be truthful with that job when you tell fucking people who like you just meet. Like if I met, dude, part of me wishes I fucking meet that guy outside of that slaughterhouse, and I'm like, hey man, what do you do for work? What are you up to, man? And I want to hear. He's just like, oh, I'm a fucking. Like for me, if I got that job, I wouldn't tell. For the people who knew when I was doing the interview, I was already lying what I was doing. Like, what do you do for work? Or what's this job thing about? I was like, oh, I'm a quality assurance lab analyst for like a food company. So it's like meats, vegetables, fruits, just like different things. So basically just testing edible stuff for bacteria and stuff and salmonella. I would have made it up on the way. Like, if I'm lying about that, this guy has to be like, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. I got like 500 cows I work with. Yeah, what do I do for work? Yeah, I round up 500 cows. I'm like a farmer and shit. Oh, do you milk them? No, these cows don't milk. I asked them too, is like, because they're hanging up, when I saw these cows hanging upside down, absolutely fucking slaughtered and dead. I was like, why? So they're milk bags. I get it because they're hanging upside down. There's no, like, that shit's empty. Are these like milkless? I swear. I said that to her and I felt so stupid, but at the same time, I'm like, what else? Like, there's so many things going on that it's like, it's not like, I was like, are these milkless cows? And I say that because their udders and shit were just like empty. So I'm like, is it just fucking? She goes, no, they're just upside down. I was like, okay, cool. So like, did they just stop making milk, or do you guys like see like where's the milk go? Because I feel like if they still milk, then where's the milk? Because there's definitely that shit's fucking. That looks like a fuck. It looked like if you were like 500 pounds and you lost 400. You know what I mean? Where just you hold your arm up and it's just a fucking parachute. It looked like that. So I was like, where's the milk? Because listen, I may not know that this is the process of how I eat my hamburgers, but I sure as fuck know that's where my milk comes from, and there's no milk there. So I was like, are these milkless cows? Be honest with me. I was like, part of me was kind of hoping she would just be like, these are actually all milkless cows. Like, these are fucking. I was hoping she'd be like, no, these are all the cows who are have lived their life. They're gonna probably die in the next year, so it's like they have no milk left. They can't breed, so that's what we eat. I was hoping that, at least. Part of me would still be like, oh, fuck, these kind of old cows. But she goes, no, these are like fucking babies. And I was like, fucking babies. Okay. Well, I mean, so like, this is like an abortion clinic kind of thing, lady? Like, what's like, okay. So I kind of thought, I was like, I have this job. And I was telling people too, I was like, dude, if I get this fucking job, I am going to be so desensitized to death. 100%. Like, how can I not be? Obviously I'm not doing the killing, but like I would test the shit hopefully all at the end. Like, I'll stay in the fucking packaging area. Don't let me go to the fucking I don't want to see that every day. But I'll swab some meat for bacteria. You know what I mean? Like I'll dab some fucking meat on a paper towel and test. That's actually what they were doing. Like I was like, what the fuck's this guy doing? She goes, oh, that's kind of what you would do. And he just had a fucking Charmin paper towel. I don't know if Charmin makes paper towels, but he's just fucking getting the shit nasty wet, which is raw meat, and then puts in a bag and just puts it there like next to vials. I'll do that. A little weird, but I'll do that. But if I gotta go fucking... And by the way, the job that I applied for, she was telling other people in the fucking tour that, like, she goes, oh, he's the... And I don't know what the HVAC consultant or some shit like that. And I was like, bitch, I thought this was quality assurance lab analyst. What am I doing here? You know what I mean? Long story short, I didn't get the fucking job. She called me like the next week on a Tuesday at 9 in the morning, woke me up. I was like, hi, Kit. I don't know if I can say that. Hi, how are you doing? She goes, hi, so basically we found somebody who's more qualified. And I was immediately like, oh no, you're fine. It's okay. You're okay. And I was telling my friends, too, I was like, if I don't get the job, I'm cool with it. But still, at this point, I was like, dude, I haven't had a job. Fuck, I fucking want to do something. I'm getting bored here. But I was like, yeah, okay, that's no problem. She goes, okay, yeah. I like when she said no, I just kind of like, I was like, I just got a 25 cal bullet through my brain. Like I think that's what the cows feel, because she's like, oh, you don't get the job. And I was like, she goes, is that okay? I was like, yeah, no, that's fine. You know, thank you, bye. And I kind of go back to bed, super sleep deprived. 9 in the morning, it's all good. I fall asleep late. But yeah, I didn't get the fucking job. Hopefully, I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, part of me was like, I don't think I want to work there. But, I don't think I missed anything else. But, oh, yeah, I asked her too. I was like, hey, so that's a lot of blood. There is a lot of blood in there. Do you just, like, fucking, like, does it just go down the sewer? Like, she goes, oh, no, we got, like, specialized tanks we take. And I'm like, take it where? She goes, we take it to, like, facilities and they deal with it. I was like, what do they do with it? Where is this blood going? There is, without a doubt, fuck. If I do the math here, let's just say, considering that fucking floor in there, 10 gallons of blood. No. Let's just go 5 gallons of blood a cow. It's 2,500 gallons of blood, right? 5 a cow, 500 cows, 5 times 5, 25, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 200, 2,500, yeah, 2,500. Let's just say it's 2,500 gallons of blood a day. What do you do with that much blood? Where does that go? Because I'm like, for some reason, the first thing that came to my head was like, do you use it for plants? I don't know why. Like, I was like, oh, you can use that for plants. No, you can't. Oh, you can use that shit for car oil. No, you can't. Oh, blood? No, you can definitely use that for, like, cleaning supply. No, you can't. You definitely can't fucking donate that shit. There's no, what are you giving it to fucking cows going through chemotherapy? No. Oh, fucking, my cow lost fucking so much blood, dude. Dude, if your cow loses blood, if you own a cow and it fucking loses a lot of blood, you should be good to, like, go to wherever they go with their blood. And, like, I feel like for cow, it's easier for cow to get blood than it is for, like, people. Maybe not. But then again, that's a lot of blood. But I was like, what do you do? What do you do with this? Where does it go? She goes, we just take it out. I don't know. Huh? What do we... Are you filtering this? Is this what's in my fucking... Is this cow blood? I don't know. Maybe they probably just filter it out into like water, and then the water goes to the sea or some shit, or I don't know. Maybe it just goes back to the cow. Maybe just fucking put it. Maybe it congealed blood. I don't know. Maybe fucking chicken feed. Don't ask me, dude. I was just there for 3 fucking hours. 2 months worth process. Nothing came through it. What else is new? Oh, check this out. What else is new? I got a pair of tits. Probably have to censor that on most of the things I posted on, except for Patreon. You can go on their Patreon. It's free. I'm not charging shit. But yeah, I don't think I wore these in the last few podcasts or talked about them because they've been in my trunk. But yeah, I got a pair of fucking tits. Dude, by the way, I'm not a tit guy, but like, nah, I couldn't. But these are kind of cool. Here, let me fucking... We'll do the rest of this with tits. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I mean... sorry, my fucking big old milkers are knocking over my mic. Oh, man. Yeah, you know... I could get used to these. I don't know what these trans people are up to. Because this feels nice. Fuck, yeah, no, I don't know how you would sleep in these things. When I got these, I sent a picture to a bunch of my little girlfriends, friends that are girls, and one of them's got like some massive ass fucking knockers. And she was like, now you know how I fucking feel. Every day I gotta fucking carry these around, these fucking milk bags. And I'm like, dude, these things are more filled up than these cows I watch get murdered. Oh my God. Oh, baby. I mean, fuck, I could probably do something with these. I mean, oh my God, I could definitely do some stuff with these. I'm not like that, but like, I mean, I was thinking going to like a Stater Brothers, walking around, just seeing the kind of reactions I get. Oh my God, so sorry. I'm so sorry. My big old fucking mommy milkers are knocking over my microphone. I'm just gonna put these things right in front of my fucking big old fucking juicy tits. So yeah, that's something new I got for my birthday. Fucking grandpa, dude. He's so crazy. No, my friend Matt did. Oh my God, my fucking nipples are piercing through my fucking sweater. Damn. Fuck, I don't know if I can finish this podcast. I might have to go upstairs for a little bit. Oh. No, but yeah, these things are cool. Tits are cool. What else? What else do I have down here? So this one's this just happened to me yesterday. Fuck, I should write more shit down, but this, I've told the story to a few people and it doesn't hit as what I expect it should be. But I really only wear Lululemon pants, right? And just cuz quality over quantity. You know, like it's they're the best. It's all I wear, pants. But they have like stitching errors, like where the belt loops are, like it'll kind of pop off, and I've got like a hole in one of them with like a little by the zipper. But they have fucking warranty on it. They'll fix whatever. It's kind of bullshit, really. If you have any stitching error, they do hemming, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. I even looked it up and I was like, what? You just kind of redesign it for people and shit. But I have a few holes, but the thing is they will only fix holes in your Lululemons if it's on the stitching line, right? So like a stitching line, it's fucking pretty simple. But if it's not, they can't do shit about it. So I was like, okay, so much for a fucking lifetime warranty. So I go in there and I'm like, okay, I Googled it and enough people were like, oh my God, they fucking did it. There's no problem. Because I knew like one hole they can fix, but the belt loops, I was like, I don't know if they can do this. I show up and I bring 2 pairs of Lululemons, which by the way is I kind of felt weird walking through the mall with just fucking pants in my hands, but whatever. I go to Lululemon and I am greeted by a very flamboyant homosexual man. Cool, all good, but I give him my pants and he's immediately kind of like sassy with me. He's like, "Yeah, we can't do shit about this," and I was like, I don't know why he just gave him like a Boston accent kind of, but I was like, he goes, but we can I mean, I can tell you like we can fix like this part, but like look, like this shit is a hole. Like it's fucked. And I was like, it's still like it's I don't know how to explain it, but it was like it's for sure like a stitching error. Like for sure. Like it's like the bottom of the loop that's like stitched your pants. That loop is just detached. He's like, that's a hole. And I was like, you know. you know. But anyways, I was like, okay, well, he's like, well, we can fix that, but like, I'm just letting you know, that's not gonna get fixed. I was like, that's fine, just fucking. He's like, well, I'll send it out and it'll come back, whatever. I was like, okay, that's fine. Okay. He goes, he goes, he gives me his phone, right, to like give my email and phone number and shit to contact me, like for the whole process. He gives me his phone, which is also his personal phone, which is also like the business phone. Now, I don't know if Lululemon gives him a phone, or I'm assuming it's just like his phone that they just tell people, give people your phone to like sign in and give like the email for like the stitching stuff. Whatever it is, it's a business and personal phone for sure. He goes, here's the phone. Type, can you give me your email? Like, yeah, sure. I grab his phone and I go to type in the keyboard. The first thing I do is I accidentally, which by the way, it's I guess not on messages, I guess on that app, I accidentally hit the emoji button, right? I hit the emoji button, and the first thing that pops up, now I thought this was funny. Not judging. I mean, kind of am, but like I'm not judging. But I just thought this was so funny for this circumstance that I'm getting, that I'm giving like a personal phone that's also a business phone. Like, mind you, this is a phone for Lululemon business to be used by consumers, right? Like this is not like, but it's also his personal phone. He's in the phone. I accidentally press his emoji, like the emoji button that brings up the emojis, and the first thing that pops up is his frequently used. Now, the frequently used emojis that I saw, and I saw it for like a split 2 seconds, it was enough to just be like, yeah, this is funny. It was like the wet emoji, like the fucking and then the cucumber emoji, the eggplant emoji, the butt emoji. And now I get it. Like a lot of times I'll just text my friends that too, But just something about the idea, and he doesn't even have to be gay at this point. Like it could be a girl. Like honestly, anybody who works in the store who gives me a company phone for me to use, and I hit your frequently used emojis, and it's just the most sexual emojis you can see, is fucking hilarious. But because this guy was overly flamboyantly like sassy gay, I kind of saw this and just like I was like, that's expected, but it's also funny. Like, I was like, oh shit, sorry, that's like fucking. He was like looking at me and shit. He's like, what do you think? Typed in my shit, gave it to him, and he's like, oh my god, I fucked up. Tap it in again. I was like, okay, you fucked up, but I definitely fucked up more, and you don't realize that. But I just thought that was funny. Like the fact that I was given a company phone and there was just the most outrageous sexual emojis that popped up that were frequently used on his phone. Like it's a business phone that you're giving it to the consumers to use. And that pops up. I was like, that's hilarious. But it was funny also because he was very flamboyantly sassy, outrageously fucking pizzazzy gay. But I feel like it would also be hilarious if it was like a fucking little like 18-year-old girl. It was like, here's the phone, like some like a nerdy ass fucking like glasses and shit. Like she's got a scarf on, shit like that. She's covered up, like you don't even know what gender she is. She's got like a low ball hat. She's like, here you go, and then I just see some fucking just like some crazy ass squirt emojis and stuff. And like it's the obvious, like I'm like, the fucking squirt emoji I'm talking about, the 3 squirts, the eyes, like fuck. You know exactly the emojis like we're talking about here. I just thought that was hilarious, and I told one of my friends like, "Wow, dude, what did we?" I said, "What do you say?" He's like, "What? We just judge?" He was kind of joking, but also I was like, "I get it." He goes, "Cool, can't find it." He goes, "So we're emoji shaming now, huh?" And I was like, "Well, when it's a fucking on a business phone getting consumers to use, yes, indeed, we're emoji shaming for sure." And then I told that to a few other people, and they just kind of like didn't even laugh. Maybe I didn't explain it right enough, but to me, I thought that shit was hilarious. What else? Oh, I had a friend that died. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Don't see Lululemon. I'll save that fucking. I'll save that death thing for like when my friends come on here. I went to LA this weekend. I'm with my friend Logan, who's been on here a few times, and this is just like a quick little ending. We're like in. It's called Madame Cyan's. By the way, the best fucking place you could possibly go in LA. It's like 3 clubs, like a bar. It's really themed out. It's pretty cool. We go in the very, very back, which is like techno bass. We're standing there, dude, and there's this guy. He comes up to us. Okay, we should be good. This guy comes up to us and he's like, I don't know, and like to me, I didn't hear him at first. And I was like, oh, I just can't hear because of the music. And we're both like, what? He says the same thing again, but he says like 3 sentences, and I'm telling you, we were both tripping out because it felt like the idea of what foreigners like hear when they listen to people speaking English who don't know English. Like if you look up a video, it's like, what does English sound like to people who don't know English? And it's just like you can't fucking pick up. Like you're like, I can't understand this shit. It was weird. Like you can hear the language, but you cannot decipher any. Like I'm talking about. Like I feel like I was getting a brain aneurysm, and I was like, kind of like I was about to be like, Logan, we gotta fucking go to the hospital, dude. I can't hear anything this guy's saying, like, because I know it's English, but also there's like a bit of an accent. But I was kind of like, dude, this is what the fuck. And then I hear at the very end, he goes, and they broke up after 4 months, so I need advice. I think I'm giving an accent, but I don't know if he had an accent. And we're like, you broke up with, you what? You broke up with a girlfriend? He goes, yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend 4 months ago, and I'm here by myself, and I need help. And I was like, I looked at him, I was like, buddy, dude, well, not help, but he said like, give me advice. I was like, I looked at him, and I'm not sympathetic at all. You know, like especially for this, I was like, I'm just gonna make fun of this guy. Like even if it was my friend, I'd be like, dude, fucking, you're fine. But I looked at him, I was like, dude, you're fine. I was like, 4 months, dude, you're fine. 4 months, dude. You shouldn't even know what the fuck. You shouldn't know anything about her in 4 months. I mean, I guess you could, but like, there's probably so much. Dude, in 5 months, you'll find out the fucking her shoe size. You know what I mean? Like in 4 months, and you're asking strangers for advice, dude. You cannot be serious. You like this guy's life is fucked if a 4 month relationship ends and you're going up to strangers in a techno house underground club at fucking 11:30 at night asking 2 people you don't know for advice because you're heartbroken over a 4 month. I don't know. I mean, Ethan was on here once and he was dating this girl for 2 weeks and was talking to her for 3 months. And then I put a letter in his mail after they broke up saying, like, I want you back. But it was me saying, fuck you, I got you. And then he was fucking bummed over that. So I get it. But, like, still, it's like, dude, strangers. Logan was like telling him, he was like, dude, telling the shit that I wouldn't tell people. He was like, fuck girls, dude, that's how they are. I would have just been like, dude, you're fine. Like, you're fine. I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, dude, first of all, this guy's coming straight up to us from Mars, not being able to speak English. And then he's just like, I need advice. I think Logan, if Logan was here, I'm going to bring that up when Logan comes on the podcast again. But, I was like, dude, this is even like this has got to be a setup, right? Like this guy's going to fucking do something. Like this is not a conversation. You know what I mean? Like if you ever have like a girl or a guy text you that you used to talk to, right? And they hit you with a text that it's like not a necessary text, but it's just kind of like a way to kind of get in to start talking again. You know? Like it'd be like, hey, fucking I saw I was at Costco and I saw a shirt that I thought you'd wear. It's like, this isn't, this is definitely not a conversation. This is just kind of like I got one of those recently and I can't remember what it was, but it was such like a fucking, hey, you like to wear shoes, right? I'm like, this, flattered you want to talk again, but like, it's like, dude, just say hi, you know? So I thought this guy was, at first I was like, this guy's hitting on us for sure. Like, there's no way. Like, this guy, I need advice. I'm like, you don't know us at all. I just came from a fucking slaughterhouse, brother. You want advice? Yeah. How about when you if a guy comes up to you with a fucking if a guy comes up to you with a like a shake weight and he's like trying to get your head to, don't look up. That's my advice to you, buddy. Yeah, man, I just got on my I dated a girl for 4 months. You got any tips for me? Yeah. So basically, if you meet a veterinarian, just know there's different types of veterinarians, and this guy could cut your liver out. So, yeah. Hey, man, I'm sorry, I don't know you guys. It's very fucking hard to hear in here, and also it's on top of that, you can't understand what I'm saying. I need advice. Yeah. So, basically, if you find 2,500 gallons of blood anywhere that's like anywhere, just know it's coming from I'm gonna probably blur the name out yeah. So there's my advice, buddy. If you find 2,500 gallons of blood anywhere, let me know, because I'll tell you guys where it comes from. Fuck, that's it, man. I'm in love with these tits. Thanks for watching. I think. Thanks. I haven't done a podcast in a while, mostly because this is kind of more of like an introspective conversation. I've been really wanting to, like, when I do this podcast, I can't relax and have conversations. Like, you could probably I can make a compilation of me just like not paying attention. People will be talking, and like I find this out when I edit. I'm like, I cut people off. I'm like not paying attention because I'm so focused on running everything here, which isn't that big of a deal. It's not that hard, but it's like I want to make sure that there's not a camera turned off. I don't want to make sure like everything's good, because when it comes to like if somebody tells a crazy funny story and this fucking camera's off, I'm like, cool, just wasted so much like that was a waste. So I've been really planning on getting that fixed, which I basically have, because I have now 4 Canon G50s where it's just like 4K top of the line podcast recording cameras. So I have 4 of them now. So now when I do these podcasts, I can just set it and forget it. Editing is going to be a lot easier because everything will just be one file instead of just cut up, because some of these have limiters, which means you can only film on a camera for 15 minutes before it cuts off. Then I plug in a machine that basically restarts it every, how often, doesn't matter, technical shit. But basically all I'm saying is now I have 4 cameras in here. They're all going to be in 4K. I'm adjusted things on some of these. I'm still kind of trialing out some stuff. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this, is so I can figure out how to get the best quality. But these are all going to be in 4K, the best quality, because I do value my clips on posting social media. So 4K would be definitely useful for that. So yeah, I plan on doing a podcast next Tuesday, which is 6 days from now, and I'm gonna just keep going. So now they're gonna be in 4K. This is a nice little solo one I did. I haven't done it in a while, and I wanted to kind of break through and figure out some stuff and some settings. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna fucking play an outro. I play with my titties. I don't know why this doesn't just end the same way that it did with my friends. When you said my name, I forgot how to breathe, but it's not the same. I think that I should leave.